As the naval invasion in the Marshall Islands is entering its final stages, even with the amount of naval-based gun support that we have, the Marines are struggling to defeat the Japanese determined defenders and evict them from their island fortresses. The next month will tell if we can manage to dislodge them despite our losses, or if the High Command is going to decide to abort and to return to Hawaii for another attempt. Meanwhile, a Japanese task force consisting of 2 battleships, 1 battle cruiser, and several light forces is on the way to Formosa, and we have sent the Colorado together with some other ships to try and intercept them. We'll see if we can manage. But another problem is starting to come up on the horizon, and after the relatively strong opposition of the Japanese and actual will to fight in the last couple of engagements, one thing's for certain: if we are up against an enemy that is actually even numerically superior to us, like, say, the British Empire, who we are not having the best relations with, then we seriously need a refresh of our naval forces. And that is something that we are going to attack relatively soon. But for now, we'll complete the attempted naval invasion, and we will see if we can intercept the Japanese off Formosa. The strike force sent to intercept the Japanese off the coast of Formosa has been attacked by picket submarines. We have our guarding destroyers have reported 2 submarines sunk and 2 submarines damaged. No damage has been inflicted to our own ships, and so far our anti-submarine measures have been proven successful. After a long and bloody battle, the American flag has been raised over the Marshall Islands. This is the first crack in the outer defense ring, although that said, we are still strong in our base in the Philippines, and we can push them further near Formosa and hopefully end this war relatively soon with a Japanese unconditional surrender. The Japanese task force has scattered. Their scout planes have noticed, together with reports from spies from Manila, that the Colorado and her support group had set out to intercept, and as such, the ships have scattered. We have sent out a second group consisting of Arizona and her escorts to pick up some of the stragglers, and it looks like the Arizona has gotten herself into a duel with the Kaio. So we will see how that is going to end up. Certainly an interesting engagement, while the destroyers are chasing off the escort groups of the Japanese. Under cloudy conditions, the USS Arizona is steaming at flank speed, which isn't all that much, trying to intercept the much faster, well-armed, but probably not very well-armored Japanese opponent. And we have spotted the Kaio. This almost looks like a more modern design. I am not certain if that's the same class of battleship that we've been fighting before. Lots of guns on this thing. So we'll see how well this is going to work out. For now, we are at extreme range, so I'm going to turn Arizona to starboard. We are at 17 kilometers, so it's relatively unlikely that we're going to be hitting anything. But I do want to get our rear guns on target, so depending on where she is going, we're certainly opening up with the front ones. And observing the shell splashes, they fell way long, so I think the next salvo is going to have to get a little shorter. And we'll see if we can get into the range, if we can get the range, and if we can get the rear turrets on target as well. I might have to turn a little bit more here, but we are ready for another salvo. And And it's still only the forward turrets, so definitely need to turn more to port. No return fire, I think, from the Japanese so far. I'm not sure what the range is on the... oh no, there it comes. Is that? Or is that our... This might be our shots. I think these are our shots, yeah. Okay, that was significantly better. First blood for the Arizona. We have landed a hit on... I think on... Yeah, on the main tower. That's gonna give the Japanese captain a good shake. So let's definitely turn more in and get the rear guns on target. The Japanese are charging us, interestingly enough. And that means they only get their forward guns on target. So let's see if we can cross their T and get our rear turrets operational. Definitely first blood for the Arizona. And that, I think, might have lost her some bridge crew. Next salvo coming in. That wasn't bad. One of the turrets, I think, is straddling her. Given that the Japanese are charging in, I'm actually going to drop speed to 18 knots. That gives us hopefully a bit more of a stable platform, and reduce the vibrations coming in from our engines, and even more turn to port. I want to angle the armor as much as possible, but yeah, there we go. Rear turrets are firing. That's all of Arizona's guns on target now. Okay, so straighten her out, and we'll see how that salvo is going to come in. I think the Japanese have slowed down. It looks like she's definitely a bit slower now. And another good straddling salvo. So the secondaries are now opening up from the Arizona. I think we've got the right firing position. Incoming Japanese fire also starting to be more precise. That was another 14-inch hit on the main deck on the Japanese battleship. So far she is turning in now as well, but so far the Arizona is a bit more, has been a bit more successful in landing hits here. One issue obviously is that I think the Japanese battleships are outgunning us in terms of caliber, and but Arizona should have more guns to send on target. There's the incoming fire from us, and that worked reasonably well. Arizona's fire coming in, yep, starting to land hit with the 14-inchers. Nothing catastrophic so far, but the Japanese warships is definitely on the slow side, so it has taken a couple of hits. Now the Japanese secondaries are opening up as well, but I'm gonna keep closing the range and see if we can get across her front. She is very slow, so maybe that's why they're actually going for the engagement, and are not trying to run, because there is literally nowhere to run for them. Japanese gunnery still not on target. Arizona is relatively well aimed now, and that's a bunch more hits. I think she's taken some hits on the stern here. Yeah, a couple aft belt penetrations, and she is, I think, starting to list a little bit. Yeah, there was some flooding here, so well done. We'll keep closing the range. 18 knots is a good speed. We've got secondaries on target. Might just adjust the angle a little bit, but 14 inches opening up. And a couple more hits from Arizona. And these were, again, 14-inch hits, but so far nothing catastrophic. So definitely this Japanese battleship is taking a beating, but has survived a lot longer than on previous engagements. Normally these things are going down relatively quickly. Okay, I think that was one hit. She is definitely listing at this point. But they can still train the guns, I think. So we'll maintain our course. We'll maintain our course and speed, and keep the fire up from the secondaries as well. I think we're in good range now for the secondaries. We've got a slight armor angle going just in case. We do have torpedoes on the Arizona, so we can send these out as well if we get a torpedo angle going. 14-inch armor piercing, however, is going to be the weapon of choice for now. And I might have to turn a bit more to get the rear turrets engaged. Was another penetration from a 14-inch forward deck penetration. And there comes the return fire. Yeah, they're almost still in the water at this point, I think. So let's see if the return salvo can manage. I don't think they've landed any hits yet. And probably at this point, yeah, they're struggling to get hits in on Arizona despite the number of guns that they've got. I think at this point the damage is going to start playing a role here. But whoever gets the first hit in has a big advantage, because as soon as we start causing damage, causing the ship to list, we've managed to get the bridge hit in on the first salvo. And that has cost them a lot in terms of accuracy. So I think at this point we're sort of pummeling it. But of course it's a battleship, it's not going to go down that easily. And I think we have a flash fire. Yeah. That was Arizona's forward guns. I think we did manage a penetration, and the Kaio has suffered a flash fire in one of her forward gun turrets. And I think that's the end for her. She's listing so much now that I don't think they can train the guns anymore. She is taking on a lot of water, and magazine explosion again. Magazine explosion in the forward compartment. Oh, she's got 14.4-inch guns. This is a different type than with what we fought before. But we don't know an awful lot about it. But now she's doomed. Arizona is finishing her off at this point. The guns have run silent, and with fires burning all across the deck, the forwards magazines exploding, that is the end of this Japanese battleship. And I think we can comprehensively say that our battleships are superior and have shown themselves. The Japanese haven't managed to land a single hit on Arizona, I think, and we're, after drawing first blood, we have very, very comprehensively destroyed these heavy ships. And hopefully that gives the Japanese some time to think and evaluate their chances of continuing the war.